All right, guys, today we're going to talk about finding percentage of a number. So far, we've talked about converting numbers into percents, but this is going to be for finding out how much of a number a percent actually is. So, go with your name and the date. To find percentage of a number or total, it's actually not too terribly hard. First, you're going to write the percentage as a fraction with, you've probably guessed it, a denominator of 100. Then you're going to go ahead and multiply the fraction by the number. Simplify if you need to. So let's go down here and look at our first example problem. 10% of 140. You're going to turn your percentage into a fraction with the denominator of 100, because remember this means percent per 100. And you're going to multiply it by 140, and since that's a whole number, we're going to put it over 1. If I cross simplify, I can't cross simplify 10 and 1, but I can cross simplify 140 and 100. They're both divisible by 10. Actually, they're both divisible by 20. 20 goes into 140 70 times, and it goes to 100 5 times, and 7 times, and that's 70. Woohoo! 10 times 7 is 70. 5 times 1 is 5. All right, now I need to simplify. 5 goes into 70 14 times with nothing left over, so that is that whole number. So if I'm looking for 10% of 140, that number is going to be 14. The other thing you'll need to know how to do, actually, let me go ahead and have you guys try this next one first. 25% of 188. Okay, so if you finished it, we're going to go over it. If you haven't, then pause the video. 25% of 188, we're going to put our percentage as a fraction over 100. And then we're going to multiply by 188, and our whole number is going to have a denominator of 1. 100 and 188 both have 4 that go into them. So let's do 25. Oh gosh, gotta do some math here. 4 goes in there. Maybe it doesn't. Goes in 4 times. Oh, it does. 16, 2, 8, 47 times. So I have to do a little more math over here off to the side. I'm gonna have to do 25 times 47 because I don't know that in my head. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. Add my placeholder. 28, 10. So I got 1175. Okay, so the fraction I'm going to end up with is 1175 over 25. I'm going to do that as a division problem. Again, I'll go off to the side over here. 25 can't go into 1, can't go into 11, goes into 117 4 times. I get 100. When I subtract, I get 175. It goes into that 7 times. Oh, wow, I'm so silly. Okay, 7 times 25 is 175. When I subtract, I get 0. So my answer should be 47 with nothing left over. That's my answer. I might have noticed that if I took a second and looked, I multiplied this fraction by 25 over 25, so I multiplied it by 1. So I should have known I was going to end up with the same thing. Wow. Okay, so that is the first part, which you're going to have to do tonight on your homework. You also need to know how to do the second part, because this is what we're going to do tomorrow in class. And that's going to be finding out what percent of another number is. I use this a lot when I'm figuring out grades on tests. Like if you got 42 out of 60 right, I would need to figure out a percentage to get your score. So to do that, you're going to write the fraction as a division problem. So let's say there's 20 problems on a spelling test. I know none of these things exist in our life, but if there's 20 total problems on the spelling test, that's going to be my denominator. Let's say someone got 15 of those right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this division problem. So I'm going to have 15 divided by 20. And I'm going to have you take these notes even though we're not using this today because you're going to need it tomorrow. 20 can't go into 15, so I have to add that decimal and the 0. 20 goes into 150 7 times. I just did that right there. 7 times 20 is 140. When I subtract, I get 10. I'm going to add another 0 because I don't want a remainder. 7 times 20 is 70%, or 100. 100. So 20 can't go into 0, so I'm going to bring my 0 up here. I'm sorry. This should have been my 5. What am I doing? Getting ahead of myself. I don't have a remainder, so I can stop there. So I should know from my fraction rules that I'm going to end up with a decimal when I divide. And now that I have my decimal, which is 0.75, I can turn that decimal, or I'm going to convert this decimal. We're going to scratch out fraction here. We're going to put percent. Sorry for the typo. So if I have 0.75, I'm going to write that as 0.75 over 100, because it's 75, sorry, in the hundredths place. And that's going to equal 75%, which we should know from the other day. It's the kind of a messy example. I'm really sorry. This is what we're going to focus on tomorrow, but you do need to know how to do this because it will be on our test and will be part of our practice. But our main focus tomorrow is going to be on this second part of this section. All right. Have a good night, guys.